Oh, it's me. Welcome
No,
to
it's
Cyclops.
not.
Oh no, I have the wrong script pulled up. I just clicked on the first link.
Welcome to Cyclops' Rating for Me, an X-Men animated recap podcast with the Marvel Anime X-Men, Episode 1, titled The Return. I'm JC, and as you can tell, things are kicking off to an awesome 2026. I actually, just last night before we recorded this, they did a Mr. Sinister's Villain Night in Hollywood, and I was the moderator for David Arrigo Jr., who we've had on the show. He does Mojo, Gladiator, Banshee, and Leech, of course. And then I got asked when I was already at the event, would you also like to interview Martha Marion, who is Emma Frost's voice actor?
Oh,
and
nice.
I prepped for that in about 15 minutes, and awesome time. By the time this episode goes live, there will be like Instagram reels with like moments from both of those interviews. Also got to meet Chris Britton, the voice of Sinister, for the first time. So
That's awesome. And there's a really great cosplayer there too. Went all out.
yes, I don't remember his name off the top of my head, but he has a very iconic Sinister costume. I believe it's a like full facial like a vinyl over his face, because it is so or it's crazy amount of prosthesis that is all blended and interconnected perfectly. But
Yeah, because everything looked glossy,
yes,
like from head to toe. So that was crazy.
and there
And I
was. Ooh, and there was one female cosplayer who did an Emma Frost, but had like the big like sinister like cape looking things behind her and stuff like that.
Oh, nice.
I think she did like a burlesque dancey thing. I could be wrong on that, but it was fun.
Nice. Lots of wire, right? For everybody. And I was recording last night because it's January, so everybody in my circles is circling back around to to work. And I'm Rod. And yeah, I'm getting back into this too. I don't know if we'll be able to see her in the edit, but Lucy's sleeping back here behind me. Maybe I'll pop it up in the video. But
It always does well. There's always like that little like tick in the
Spy.
YouTube video when we point out that there's a cat there. So
yeah. Cyclops is waiting for me as our podcast series where we're going back and watching every single animated X-Men episode we can find. The podcast started with the original 1992 X-Men, the animated series, building up to the release of X-Men 97. Along the way, we've completed X-Men Evolution, Wolverine and the X-Men, and have our companion interview show, the Xavier Files. Season 2 of X-Men 97 is coming this summer, but until then, we're going to be diving into Marvel Anime X-Men for your first time. I've watched this before.
oh, I don't know. I didn't realize you had watched it before. I knew you
Yeah.
owned it on DVD, but I didn't realize you watched it.
So I don't know if it was right when it came out, but sometime in the early 2010s, so right, maybe 2011, 2012, I was talking to a friend. I think we found it on eBay or Amazon or something. We're like, what is this? And so I like ordered the DVD, and then when it came in, we just spent a weekend like drinking Coronas and watching it. I know it's like a really random theme, but like that was like at the time that was my drink, right? And so, but the good part is like I have like a 24-hour memory at best anyway, so I didn't remember any of the story.
You are a goldfish, can I say that?
Yeah. And I was drinking, and it was like what now?
14 years ago. Let's say for you, 14 years ago.
13, 14 years ago. So this is essentially a new viewing. I remember the vibes from it. What was kind of funny was when we decided to watch this, I was like, oh man, I had trouble with the stories before. And I was like, I don't know how I'm going to do it, because this is only going to be dramatic, right? Like very
So far,
like a little humor. But then we started watching. I was like, right, anime. So this is one of those. I don't watch anime really, but I know ProZD. I love his content. He makes fun of the tropes. I was like, right, this is one of those animes where like 2 plot points happen per episode, and then the rest is like a lot of like, I lovingly say this, padded, you know. So hopefully I'll remember most of it, but like it looks gorgeous. You sent me like a fun text when you were watching it.
Yep, we'll get to that. Some quick reminders. We are a recap show about a series that started over 15 years ago. There are going to be spoilers. If you don't want it spoiled for you, pause the podcast, watch the episode, whether that's on DVD or whatever random website that happens to have full episodes of TV shows, and then come back. We are not currently sponsored or affiliated with Marvel Animation, Disney, or Disney Plus in any way. And just kind of sad that this show doesn't live on Disney. That's weird to me. I wonder if there's a licensing issue, or because I think I remember seeing like this was on Netflix at one point. It is not there anymore, but I think it was there at some point. So
it feels like a Netflix show, even though it's X-Men, just like the vibes of it. And I noticed at the end credits that it was like a Sony production. I know that's the, on the Japan side. I wonder if that has to do with the licensing or something. That's such a wild thing to see, though. Like an X-Men project in the early 2010s that is not Fox but Sony. Like that's like a lot of like like roundabout stuff. But and don't forget to follow us on social media at Cyclops IWFM Pod on Instagram, Threads, Facebook, and TikTok. I had one contribution over the holidays where I forget where I found it, but I came across a feed. Someone, that was something we talked about a little bit. Was the third Doomsday trailer came out and featured Cyclops, and so someone took that like shot of Cyclops going. I don't know if Omega is the right word, but
no, blasting. He doesn't go Omega.
Unleashed. I don't know. Like,
he's an alpha. He can't go Omega.
Yeah. So like we took his visor off and it filled the sky like with that thing. And then they took, my favorite meme of Homer in the bushes and just put a sentinel head on it. It's like halt mutant. And then Cyclops does that. Bolts back. But you know what? As I didn't like, people know how I feel about the X-Men movies. And maybe it's because he was wrapped up in that. I wasn't in love with James Marsden's Cyclops. But this looks like it's going to be right.
Yeah.
So
And then the thing that's been coming up this week is the fact that these are not technically trailers is the Russo
I don't know what that means.
Thing. Like, I guess it could be just these are scenes that happen before the movie, but they're not a teaser or trailer to the movie, because a teaser is usually at least like, a glimpse of the movie. This is like its own little like mini series before it, I guess. So
maybe we'll see. Watch it just be part of the movie and they're just being weird.
Yeah, that's like we're all gonna go see it regardless, so it doesn't matter.
Oh yeah. If I could order tickets right now, I would do it. What movie did that? The Odyssey. People were ordering that a year ahead of time.
Sure.
Like it's
not gonna go see that. That'll be bored out of my fucking skull.
Man, you know what sucks is The Odyssey is one of my favorite books of all time. I don't know I'm afraid of what this movie is probably going to be.
There was like a 15-minute trailer of it that was like a full scene from it in front of one of the Avatar things, I feel like.
I do know if you went to see the 70 millimeter like screening of some movie, there was a 7-minute scene, they said, and only for those film 7 millimeter screening things where I don't care about it that much. But like, it's like, man, I don't know. We'll see. I may or may not see it. It's probably going to be really long. That's probably the biggest reason I'm not going to see it.
Well, on to the show. Today, we are talking about Season 1, Episode 1, titled The Return. It originally aired on Animax in Japan on April 1st of 2011, and it debuted on G4 in the United States the same year on October 21st. It currently sits at a 6.9 star rating on IMDb, and before we get into the episode itself, I gotta say, that has to be from people just not liking anime. This is not a 6 episode. That's kind of a rating for me.
I get what you mean. I guess part of it, it might have been like maybe it's half to half, like anime plus the people not liking anime, but like it was kind of slow. It's kind of hard to tell because I can't remember where I was, where my headspace was at that time when I saw it the first time. But now watching that, especially with the way X-Men 97 opened up, I'm ready to see the X-Men have fun for at least one season somewhere.
Nope, not here. Definitely not here.
And so when we open up with them falling apart again, I was like, oh yeah, this again. Not that I hated it, but it's like, all right, well, we know this. When we see the Phoenix and she's in the middle of her meltdown, we're like, okay.
I mean, technically for us, even though we didn't know it at the beginning, the last show was opening up on the Phoenix losing her shit.
Oh, yeah.
With Wolverine and the X-Men, yeah.
So it's like, okay, sure. It's kind of like Bruce Wayne's parents, in the alley. It's like, okay, I can't be mad at it, but like, I'll be excited when something new happens.
Yep. But it kicks off like this shot of like a purple moon, and you see the Phoenix, and it's pretty quick to realize like she's in full-fledged Dark Phoenix mode. One thing that I did appreciate right off the bat, there's a lot of negativity about certain designs in Marvel Rivals. People say they're like way too like accessorized and like add flair for no reason for it. The Dark Phoenix costume in Marvel Rivals was definitely inspired by this, with like the way her chest plate turns into her shoulder pads and stuff like that.
Oh, gotcha.
And having not watched it until now, I wouldn't have picked up on that. But then, like, as soon as they go to the intro credits and you see what that outfit looks like on Jean, it's like, oh, this is literally the Marvel Rivals outfit. They literally just snagged this entire look from her.
Did she have the amulet thing or the necklace?
There's not an amulet thing, but yeah, that was a choice. But
because I couldn't tell. Well, we don't find out in the first couple episodes, but I couldn't tell if that was like some source of power or something. They just keep focusing on it.
Yeah. So at the beginning, you see Logan is there, short-haired Storm, astonishing X-Men's version of Beast, and then Cyclops in an outfit very similar to the Astonishing run as well. What were your thoughts on the outfits, Rod?
Very anime. They were kind of like halfway between what the movies were and what the comic books are, right? Like, they weren't as boring as the movies, but they definitely weren't as colorful.
Yes.
I only really cared about Storm. And so, like, it's kind of funny because she basically has the same haircut Halle Berry had, right?
I didn't want to lead you on to it, but
like
yes, I was waiting for that.
In like the second movie or something? Not the first, because the first one she had more of like a
long
straight hair. Oh, is the first movie where she had the longer hair?
I think so.
So
again, I haven't watched the movies in forever.
Yeah, in one of the movies where Storm had like the kind of like the medium length, like it seemed based on that, but like it kind of proved me it wasn't even like the look. It was just that characterization of her in the movies that I didn't like. Because here she seems fine. She's voiced by a character I think that's like in an actor that's like in a lot of other stuff. It's even funny there because
she was in like 105 episodes of The Flash. Danielle Nicolette is the voice actor. She was also in Your World, Jackie Briggs in Mortal Kombat X. And then if you ever played the original Saints Row games, she was Shandi. So
gotcha.
Yeah,
I've only played Saints Row 4.
Shandi was in that. She was one of the two girl generals on the
cool.
Team. Yeah.
So so her voice isn't the most commanding, because I know one of my criticisms is usually like Storm's supposed to be a god.
Yes.
So I think it really just it goes to show that there was so many things wrong to me about the movie's Storm, that like a lot of things could like not really cannot tick boxes for me and still like work, because this Storm still worked for me. Like, and you messaged me like holy anime boobs. I was like,
yeah, and
no one's immune to it.
In the next episode, there is a shot, and it was just like tits. They're like, that is the shot is just tits.
Even know? In this first episode, when she's in like civilian clothing. No, is it this episode? One of the episodes she's in like civilian clothing, and they made sure to show that blouse was like stretching.
On the cruise ship.
Was that okay? Yeah. So, but they definitely make sure like in all her clothes are like not only is she very well endowed, but like they make sure that Storm's always wearing something a little bit too small, like just a teeny.
Well, before we get into even the scene, then let's talk about the voice actors for it. So, Wolverine, and we're only talking about the English dub. We're not going into the original Japanese voice actors. Wolverine was Stephen Blum, who was in Wolverine and the X-Men as Logan. Also, we had mentioned previously he's Spike Spiegel in Cowboy Bebop, and then most recently he does the voice of both Venom and Beta Ray Bill in Marvel Cosmic Alliance, the side-scrolling arcade-style game. Then, of course, we have Jean is Jennifer Hale, who is Jean in a bunch of stuff for
I did recognize her.
Yeah. Scott is played by Scott Porter, who was Bucky in Marvel's Avengers. He also did play Cyclops in Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, which, God, that game is just the worst. And then, as far as I could tell, it was only the first Marvel Spider-Man game on PlayStation 4, not the second one, that he was also the voice of Harry Osborn.
I never played any of the Spider-Man games, but I keep hearing great things about them.
Yep. And then Beast was voiced by Fred Tatasciore, who, apologies if I'm saying that name wrong, but he is most well known for being the Hulk in everything. So in Hulk versus, he is the Hulk. In Marvel Rivals, he is the Hulk. He is the Hulk in basically everything. So
it's funny.
And then finally we have Xavier, who is played by Cameron Clark, who Cameron's an older voice actor. He played Leonardo in the original Ninja Turtles. He was the dub voice of Kanata in the original Akira movie, and then Liquid Snake in the original Metal Gear Solid 2. So,
yep. A lot of veterans in this.
Yeah, and then though not a major part of this episode, Troy Baker, who has just voice acting like a royalty. He is the voice of Sublime, and then people may know him as most well as Joel from The Last of Us. And then Laura Bailey from Critical Role is the voice of Girl in one of the shots. Yeah.
So fun, a funny little connection with Troy Baker. I'm mentioning this only because I know someone is going to connect this podcast and my TikTok to this. And so because just full transparency, I don't know Troy personally, but I have interacted with him. I think is at LA Comic Con with you and Mari Takahashi. Like I think Mari and Troy did something at a panel or something like that.
No, we saw each other in a green room.
So, well, I remember seeing Troy on stage with Mari or something, and then I had passed him and said hi or something like that. So that was the only in-person, and that was unrelated to what I'm going to talk to, but I just want to put out there, like, we have, so people are like, oh, you saw each other at LA Comic Con. Yeah, but like not in this sense. So I posted a TikTok on my personal TikTok, if you know my music stuff, about the CCM band DC Talk in the 90s and their hit song Jesus Freak, and I had made some comment in there about like how even though like I don't agree with the theology, I think it's a great song and I had great memories from it, and stuff. And Troy came into my comments, and I think he was offended by that because I think he thought I meant, and not just him, a lot of people thought I meant the religious aspect of the theology, which is one thing. That's fine. People know me that know like, my brother's a pastor. I grew up in the church and stuff. Yeah. I'm not there anymore. I'm not taking that away from anybody. That's not causing any problems for other people. So I guess I don't know if Troy's religious. I'm assuming he is, but the way he commented on this, and he kind of accused me of being like really reductive by saying that and stuff. But like I just want to put out there, especially now that more stuff has come out, Michael Tate was one of the lead singers. I'm guessing you don't know who DC Talk really is.
No.
So this band had 3 lead singers, and they were probably the biggest Christian band at one point in the 90s.
I'm more bothered by the 3 singers than anything else.
Oh, it was kind of like a Beatles dynamic where like they would kind of like switch off and stuff. Anyway, one of the singers, even in the late 90s and early 2000s, it was kind of an open secret that he was kind of problematic, I will let you look up on your own because I don't want to talk about what he's done here. Yep. And then last year, all the people involved decided to take legal action. And so now, even though it was an open secret before, now it's a very broadcast. No, I guess it's not secret anymore.
No more. It's been a broadcast. It's no longer secret. Yeah.
That was the theology I was referring to. And so, like, Troy, if you somehow come across this, or if one of the people who both follows this podcast and my music TikTok connect that, that is the bridge of the conversation. I think I even commented on there with like, there's no dig to like religion or anything. Like, I don't agree with this person's actions.
And it's one of those things where it was like, even if it was like an open secret, it wasn't your spot to air the dirty laundry kind of scenario.
That, and also I just don't talk about stuff like that on there because like
exactly. You tend to stick to the positive of stuff and avoid the drama. So
yeah, well, also just the music part of it, because like even though it was an open secret, I didn't know enough details. I mean, I think I would argue to say most people didn't know most details. They just knew something was up. But if you want to go down a rabbit hole and ruin your day, you can look up Michael Tate from DC Talk and see what had happened. Cool. So, anyway,
I won't be doing that.
Yeah.
So the first thing we hear from Cyclops is him screaming "Jean," and Jean's response is throwing rocks at like him and Logan. Logan does a right off the bat cuts through the rock in an X shape with it, and it just is really showing just how damn strong Dark Phoenix is at this. Like, we're establishing, this is the end times right now. Wolverine takes a full-fledged pillar to the face, to the point where it knocks his mask off.
He's pretty OP'd in this, right? There's a couple times he like shows off just from healing.
Yeah, you actually because it's anime, they don't have a problem with like slight gore aspects to it. So you literally see like the skin reconstructing itself. So
yeah, it's like almost like kind of Deadpool speed of healing.
Which is pretty reminiscent of the comic at this point.
Yeah,
so.
I just not used to seeing it in the cartoons because usually you don't even see any cuts.
Yeah. Well, welcome to anime because we see lots of shit get cut in this show.
You see cuts and boobs.
Beast radios to Xavier saying that she's no longer in control. Xavier is trying to get through via telepathy. She's not responding to that and mentions that the inner circle must have done something to her. So this is like one of those things similar to the Blackbird. Do they just have certain rules of like, you could say this in the comics and then all other media you don't say it? Because I don't know why a show that has like people getting sliced up by Wolverine in the next episode has any issue with saying the word Hellfire.
I was going to ask you if there was a significance in specifying inner circle or not, because that seemed weird to me too. Is like we literally just saw like that whole violent scene, you know?
I will ask some people and see if anybody is willing to like share that, but that stood out to me because it was like, oh, I get you don't want to say Hellfire on a Saturday morning cartoon show. I get that. But like, no, this was airing on G4. Like they didn't really have to worry about kids watching it even in the dub version, you know?
Was G4 where like 1,000 Ways to Die was on and stuff?
No, that was Spike.
Okay, gotcha.
G4 was a lot of Star Trek reruns and video game culture.
Gotcha. If I remember right, either in this episode or next episode, someone like says "damn" too, right? Like
maybe. Yeah. Wolverine points out that she is Omega, and if she goes supernova, everybody's going to die. And Cyclops does not want to hear it and responds by screaming no, running up to Jean and pleading with him, and Jean just blows everything up and brings Scott up to eye level and just proceeds to like blast him. And then we see some figures watching. I got the impression that there are like two groups watching this fight because like the second one we see is Mastermind after Jean blows up. But like there was like this bigger dude, like I wonder if that was like supposed to be the Brotherhood, because there's one massive dude who reminds me of Blob, and then there's like a small dude right next to him, and I was like, is that the Toad version of this universe?
I didn't even put that together, but you made a good point. I thought it was just the inner circle Hellfire or whatever.
Yeah,
but maybe.
I mean, they don't give us a ton of extra context for the scene, but it was like there's not a like little scrawny weird shaped dude in the inner circle. So
what? I don't remember. I genuinely don't remember, so I'm not even spoiling anything. But it'd be funny if, like, later on, we find like there's like a very short Sebastian Shaw or something. That's just the way they animated it.
So Scott is still begging Jean. He gets pulled into like her little like telepathic blue room. She's saying that Scott needs to kill her because the Phoenix is taking over. And then at first I thought it was like a dark version of Jean behind her. And then when I did the rewatch and the reference in the second episode, realized that it was Emma Frost taking her over at that point.
Oh, yeah.
And she gives a quick "I love you," and you just see her powering up. There's a quick like "I love you" from Jean, and then she just destroys herself. And this is the cold open before a fucking intro has even hit.
This is, to me, this was kind of, it was so confusing initially because, like I said, like I still wasn't an anime mind yet, so I was like, I was trying to follow the story. I was like, oh, okay, so the point isn't the mechanics of everything that happened. The point is Jean's gone. That's what this whole setup was for. Like,
it's Jean sacrificed herself to not kill the team. Yeah,
and then the team's traumatized, but they played the hits right at the beginning, right? Like we said, like we hear Jean, and it sounded like, you know, X-Men 92 Cyclops.
Yeah, it had Norm vibes to it. Absolutely.
Yeah, and then we have like the very first like kind of, you see Jean, Logan, and Scott in the first like conflict together. You get the X claw slash that happens. So
Yeah, that all hits. But then back in the real world, Scott is holding that necklace and screams out in pain, and that's where you see the smiling mastermind before the intro hits.
So I didn't know that was Mastermind, but they mentioned him at some point, so I guess like that makes sense in retrospect. I'm just not as familiar with him except for when he came up in one of the other shows we watched.
92 was his most prominent, yeah.
Oh, really? Oh,
he was the one who made Jean think that she was a pirate, remember?
Oh my god, yeah. No, I forgot.
And then there was ugly, creepy Mastermind in Evolution.
Yeah. Okay, got it. Yeah. See,
Yep.
I'm essentially watching this again for the first time.
God, I am going to skip that intro every time.
Oh yeah,
Every time.
My note here was like, it's cinematic and orchestral, but it's not like melodic or anything.
I don't know if I've ever said this on this show, so apologies if I have and it's redundant. I started anime on hard mode by watching Evangelion as the first anime I ever watched. I watched that in college. It has a song that makes people in Japan cry. Like, it is such an iconic song there. Cruel Angel's Thesis. It's just like this amazing, high energy, get you fucking ready to go. And this was the most opposite vibe possible for
it was just kind of like a underscore. It's so funny thing. I just remembered I actually posted about watching this on Instagram. So it was 2012 in May. So I watched it approximately 8 months after it came out or something. Jeez. 8 or 9 months.
Yeah.
So, and it's funny that I mentioned I was in my Corona phase because the picture is literally the X-Men DVD with a Corona and a lime in it on a cooler.
Rod, is that one like?
Oh yeah. This is 2012.
Yeah,
and,
that's early. That's early IG.
And the caption says, "Goal for today: accomplish absolutely nothing." And literally, all I did was watch 12 episodes of X-Men anime and drink Coronas. So, with my group of friends. I mean, this is how lazy we were. That's a cooler underneath it, so we didn't have to go to the fridge.
Rod, make sure something with our thumbnail for this episode includes that, please.
Okay. What's even better was I had to unhide this. That's why I was scrolling through. If you're watching the video, you saw me like looking down. I was like scrolling down to 2012. No. I was like, I remember this picture.
So probably the one time we'll talk about this intro, but you get this like big dramatic X, and then you see groupings of the characters. You have Armor with Emma to the side. You have Logan, Cyclops, and Beast in the center, and then you have another grouping with Storm and Xavier. You see that Warren Ellis is listed as one of the credits on it, and Warren was a very influential writer from the X-Men of that era, so it makes a ton of sense that he would be involved in the scripting of this to some extent.
Do you think the thing with Emma in the cold open was supposed to be a misdirect about her being a villain?
I don't know, because like we know what happens at the end of this next episode, so I think maybe that's a comeback. Yeah.
Well, I only say that because she's in the intro, and it seems like the intro only has the X-Men in it.
But it also has Armor in it.
Oh, is that
too.
Armor?
So that's the Hisako. That's Hisato. In that they show her, like, they give the powers of the main X-Men team members. Oh,
that's the girl
then they
that went
show
missing.
her right after. Yes.
Okay,
yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And she was like, she started to pop off right around New X-Men in the mid 2000s. So the timing makes a lot of sense for her.
Okay.
Yep. It is a different girl than the girl who has the red kaiju armor in Wolverine and the X-Men, though. That is a different character. And it lists the characters, gives them their power. You see at first who may have been like a little bit of the Sentinels was kind of the vibe, but I think it's pretty clear that it is the U-Men in the following episode, that's who we're seeing on there. The theme's name is Reassembly.
Oh, I did not even know.
They said it on the screen. That's the
Oh,
only
okay.
reason. Yep. Because they actually like to give credit to people in anime. You see, like, the X door, and then I just commented because Emma and Armor are shown but don't have their powers listed, and this is when I still thought that the woman was Dark Jean. I says, like, quote, fuck Emma and Armor, apparently, because they didn't give them a listing of what they did.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, so maybe that takes away from what I just was saying about the opening title cards.
Yeah. So, episode formally kicks off where Xavier is giving this monologue recap of what's been going on. You see, they have the bigger version of the mansion, the one that actually could be an institute with lots of kids, because it has full classrooms, a full massive library, things like that. It looks a lot like the one that they would reference in the Deadpool movie when he goes to pick up Colossus.
Oh yeah. And this one's also empty.
Yes, it is. They dive a little bit deep into the whole the regrets about it, because this was a place where people could go and learn, but they were rejected by society. Mentioned that the inner circle almost succeeded in ending them a year ago, and they still ended up losing Jean in that entire battle. And it looks like he's in it looked like a hover chair to me, but they also don't put a ton of focus on it with him in this one. And he's standing in front of a memorial right in the front of the institute that says Jean Grey, she will rise again. So
did you think that was funny, in a kind of a dark way, because she died because of an entity known as the Phoenix, and then they put on her essentially headstone, she will rise again. Right, was that weird, or was that just them trying to be prophetic?
We don't know a lot about this world. So
Yeah.
I don't know if this is Jean has died before and then came back as the Phoenix like she did in 92. So maybe it's she's already died once and come back. That's why she's Phoenix. So let's go with that as a theory.
It's kind of like if I die because I got hit by a car outside my house and they put on my headstone "ride on" or something. I'd feel like it'd be kind of like that.
I go to your grave every year and I put car keys there.
Yeah.
Charles goes into this little dreamscape, and he's encouraging these kids and he's calling them over, saying that he's going to keep them safe and have nothing to be scared of. And if I've learned anything from the X-Men, the mansion is the unsafest place for children in every version of the universe.
Yeah.
The mansion is a death trap in basically everything. 92 is probably the safest because that one, it just gets destroyed and nobody gets killed in it. Every other version, the mansion is it's a mass grave at this point,
And also, 92 was mostly adults.
Yeah, it was the adults in Jubilee.
Yeah, and so this one is definitely a lot of children. I think the movies had a lot of children in it. Mm-hmm. But also, this is kind of that trope. Maybe this was on the tail end of it. But have you seen those reels or TikToks of the wife that dies later on, and it always shows them running through a field under the bed sheets and in the hazy filter. Mm-hmm. This thing with Xavier telling all the kids they're going to be fine in a hazy dream sequence is the children are going to die.
Yeah. And there's one kid who's kind of turned away, and he starts to try to follow him, can't catch up with him. It's that whole thing of if you're running in a dream, it's the one time you can't run at all and you can't catch up to him.
Oh. It's the end of a rainbow. They keep getting farther away.
Yeah, and there's this creepy laugh that pops up from the kid. But then we get nothing else out of it. He just kind of wakes up and he's like, "Oh shit, that dream is back."
Is this something that's obvious to comic fans, or is it still kind of a mystery when this happens?
There is nothing that I've read that is a one-to-one with this.
Because I took it as this is going to be, this is probably not the actual person, but this had kind of oh my god, why can't it, Shadow King or Legion vibe, right? Like somebody who like takes over your dreams and stuff. Like,
Yeah,
so I didn't know if there's somebody else that was more obvious that would be this kid.
it's entirely possible. I know that one thing we didn't say at the beginning is this only runs one season. It is one of 4 Marvel anime that happened in that same year. Started with Iron Man, went to Wolverine, went to X-Men, and then ended on Blade. So I don't know how it ends from like, do we get all this stuff wrapped up? Do we get a cliffhanger, whatever? So
I think, if I remember, I think it wraps up. I don't know how. Because I just remember, because I think I watched all of them except for Wolverine, maybe, because I did see, I actually watched Iron Man first before this one.
Right.
Iron Man is really slow. Just, we're not going to watch it here, but like if you decide to watch it, that one is twice as slow as this one. But I think all of them were meant to be like limited runs, I think, if I remember right, because I watched all of them back in 2012 or something.
Yep. And just for sake of saying it, the reason why we're doing X-Men before Iron Man is because, X-Men before Wolverine is because Rod had the DVD for this, and we're trying as best we can to watch all of this stuff by the most legal versions of it.
Yeah.
So we decided to go with the one that was a DVD. And as far as I could tell, the Wolverine one does not end in like flows directly into this show, so we're not like spoiling stuff for ourselves. Other than Wolverine doesn't die. Well, yeah, no shit.
Yeah, and I do. I have like an official DVD. It's not like one of those weird bootleg things.
Yeah, you did not get it like printed off of like printer paper on the outside and stuff. So,
however, a funny thing though is what I learned when I tried to watch it today off my DVD. Was that PS4s don't play DVDs. I did not know that.
Really?
I thought because they play Blu-rays, they play DVDs. It wouldn't play a single DVD.
Oh, you meant like, okay, got you, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And so luckily, all my DVDs I archive on my computer anyway, and my Apple TV is able to broadcast from like on a computer library. So it's kind of funny because so I ended up still kind of just stream it from my own digital source anyway, even though I physically have the DVD. I tried to. So at some point, I'm just gonna. I guess I have to get a DVD player now. I was like, I just assumed that something can play Blu-ray can play DVDs as well, but I guess not.
I feel like other stuff could, but I also can't remember the last time I put a DVD into a thing. So
yeah. Also, that's how often I play PS4. Is like I boot it up once every other year. Yeah. Literally, it's like once every other Christmas. I think
it's got to sound like a fucking jet engine at this point. Jumping over, we see this girl who's running in the snow and getting chased by the robot men. And, one of them hits her with the dart. We see her armor up, thus the name Armor Rod. And we see the weird guy who his name is Sublime, so we could call him by his actual name.
I wasn't familiar with him.
Sublime is very specific to the U-Men story. So as a group that hasn't been addressed in any of the cartoons, because they only came out in the mid 2000s in, I want to say it was the Grant Morrison run. I could be wrong on that part. But so even like the toys and stuff like that, they wouldn't have been U-Men toys during like the Toy Biz era that you're most familiar with either. So
I didn't even know they were part of the comics. I thought it was like a Japanese pun.
Nope.
Like
it was an American pun that worked well in this show.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there you go.
And then so she has the armor that's up on her, the little dart that's in her neck, injects it into her. And I also never really like thought about this from the aspect of the character, because I would think if this armor goes around her, it's like a solid thing. So apparently it's like more of a bubble, because the thing in her, I guess it's like it's there so it could do whatever in its own little operating space or whatever, but it injects her neck and that makes her pass out, and then of course her armor dissolves. So yeah. And then Xavier gets a call, and I love how he's talking to this person, because he's probably being told, I'm assuming it's like the father of this girl who he acknowledges he has a friendship with, and he's like, oh, I've been looking to reassemble the team. Don't say that to the guy who's like, my daughter's missing. Yeah. Can you help me? It's like, yeah, give me a week to get my team back first, Yeah,
they're a little rusty, but we'll be on it.
But also the weird, I'm kind of happy you're calling me about this. He doesn't say it, but it's kind of like insinuated. Like, I've been looking for the excuse. Like, come on, Chuck, what the fuck?
He's like Liam Neeson in Taken.
Yeah.
He's like, I have a special set of skills and I will kill you.
And I am excited as shit to use them.
I guess I also didn't. When he was giving his monologue, I assumed that the X-Men dissolved because they were defeated or too injured or something. But because of this and then the paging sequence that happens afterwards, it's more like Xavier decides to disperse the team. He's like, let's take a beat. I'll call you if I need you. Yeah. Like, I can't handle people being here anymore.
I also got the vibe that, like, he's like, well, I lost Scott because Scott's going to go be a mopey emo fuck for a while.
Oh, maybe that was the point. They didn't have a leader, because later on we see in the show that like they're very like militant is not the word, but like they're very like military, like hierarchy vibe. Yes. Like, well, if our leader's gone, what do we do?
We're not about him. Yeah,
yeah. In other series, they'd be like, okay, Storm's gonna do it now, you know. But in this one,
Wolverine The X-Men, it's like, you're my number 2. Shut the fuck up. Get your shit together.
In this show, it's like, oh, I guess Cyclops is sad, so there's no more X-Men.
So Xavier goes into the war room, turns on Cerebra 2.0 and calls the main 4. And then we get a sequence of like moments with these people. And that's where we get Storm on the cruise ship as this cruise ship is being attacked by pirates. And I love the voiceover they gave this like random passenger. He's like, we're all going to die. That's how this stuff always ends.
Yeah.
Like, that was the one like laughable moment. There's 2 moments where I think I like smirked in this episode, and that's one of the 2. So
it's one of those like background voice actors, like, just throw something in there, nobody's gonna pay attention.
Yeah.
And so I'm not familiar with Cerebra. That's a thing? I made a note about that. Like,
I've like, I know there's definition between Cerebro and Cerebra, so that is a thing.
I thought it was just like a lost in translation. I don't pay
as much attention to it, but yes, it is. So
okay, I thought it was just a translation error, but it's the actual thing. Okay.
Yeah, it's a thing.
Gotcha. Yeah. I'm glad that Storm was the first call, or seemingly the first call too. That makes sense.
I also loved the reception to her because she freezes this like boat with the pirates, and the reception to her is, oh my God, you're one of those X-Men, but it is not terror and hatred and racism and shit like that. It's just like, hell yeah, you're one of those heroes. Yeah,
and then she's like, girl's got to get her vacation on. And I love that she didn't lose her hat. They made like a special animation for that. Like, you know, like anime is very like economical about everything. That's why you see like still images panning and stuff. They animated a whole sequence of just her retrieving her hat. Like, it was, there's some characters arc there, you know.
I love the quote is like, you know, you don't mess with my vacation time.
Yeah.
And then immediately after she saves these people, the hologram watch goes off, and she's like, about time. And it's like, no, Xavier's messing with your vacation time, the thing you literally froze pirates to death for. So,
but it seems like we see this with everyone. They were all waiting for another mission, or like Logan in his case, he was going on another mission. You know, like. So it is interesting to see. I wonder if we're going to see more about Xavier not wanting to be the one, like everybody else was game, but Xavier and Cyclops maybe just weren't or something.
Yeah. So speaking of Cyclops, as a siren is going off outside my house, Cyclops is just there, and it's roughly 1 year since Jean's death. So I'm assuming Cyclops doesn't just live out by this place, but because of Xavier mentioning the 1 year thing, I think that's why he's there that night, and he ignores the alert going off on his bike as he's holding the locket by the cross for Jean. We get a quick interlude with Beast, who has become a teacher, and I'm imagining like the equivalent to like Harvard or Brown or like an Ivy League university, right?
Yeah, when this scene came up, this was one of the few scenes I actually remembered, because like, oh, that's right, this is with the squid.
Yeah. Also,
such a random.
Skipped over it. Rod, what are your thoughts on Beast as a kitty cat?
Oh yeah, you saw him as a cat. I thought he was like more of like a bear, but I guess cat makes more sense.
It's definitely like the cat muzzle and stuff like that.
Yeah, is that an anime thing?
That is X-Men in the like 2005 era.
Oh, that's right.
Because when secondary mutations started popping up, you know, one of the most significant ones being Emma getting her diamond form is her secondary one. Beast started to become more feline in his appearance. So that was like the new X-Men, and then House of M and the Joss Whedon Astonishing run were very much that era for him.
I kind of took it as him being the closest thing to the cute anime character they had. Right? Because everyone has like their anime thing. Like Wolverine is spikier.
Yes.
You know? All the women are pretty much like more boobs.
Scott
like,
is more emo.
He's more emo. He's also the first time I could genuinely say is what you all have told me about him being slim. They actually call him slim, but he actually looks slim. Like he's not the big like barrel-chested.
Yeah, he's not the Jim Lee drawing of him. Yeah.
Because Beast, otherwise, I feel like without the kitty face, would be more like all the other Beasts. Like, because even the voice actor sounds very similar to Booza. Like, you know, like not exactly, but like, and they play off he's always wearing a tux. He's a teacher. He's very well spoken, very well read. So the kitty face is like if you saw it still, you'd be like, oh, that's from the anime.
Yeah.
That kind of look.
But I do love this scene really quick because he is talking about how intelligent a cephalopod could be, and he throws a microphone into a tank, and all the students think that he's like lost his mind, and he gets the call, and he's like, "I gotta go. Your substitute's going to take over," and then it gets turned back on the kids that this microphone device that he has tossed in there is able to translate whatever noises the squid is saying, and you got some really great like stereotypical anime reaction shots like thrown in there and stuff. So I think that scene with Girl, I think one of those girls that is talking is the Laura Bailey voice. I could be wrong, but that
okay,
because there weren't too many other times where there was just a girl speaking on camera or speaking on screen this episode. So
but I love that the squid had almost the same voice as like Beast, you know. He's like and now he almost spoke more eloquently.
Yeah,
he had more technical terminology.
And then at LAX, because LAX is such an iconic airport from the outside, you see Wolverine, who they specify two Easter eggs and one story beat thing.
Even I caught this.
Flight 181, which is going to Madripoor at gate X23.
X23,
For those of you who don't know, there is not an X gate at LAX. Sorry to break that to you guys.
But also, can you imagine like where gate X would be?
That would be the Burbank airport.
Right? Like you would have to take an hour and a half Uber to gate X if that was an actual gate. Or terminal. Sorry, terminal. Like
but Rod, what is the significance of 181?
I didn't know that one. I'm assuming it's a comic book issue or something.
It is a comic book issue number.
Okay. Is it okay? Hang on. Is it a introduction of Wolverine?
Yes, that is the Incredible Hulk number 181. Is the first issue showcasing Wolverine? Yep.
That's fun because I my ear perked up when I heard the gate X23 and then something Madripoor. I was like, oh okay.
And then Wolverine is stuck in security and then does the thing I'm pretty sure that would get him not on the plane is showcasing as she's like, well, we have to pat you down. And he's standing there shirtless and he's like, well, I got these right here. And he pops his claws. I'm pretty sure that's enough to not let you fly, even if they're stuck to your body. I could be wrong, but...
This is one of those interesting, like, so this is not a tomorrow question because it's not necessarily a science thing, but someone, I guess legal maybe? Like, in a world
we have to start the legal question list now.
Because, I don't know, is it legal or policy? Like, in a world where someone could have sharp objects within them, what would the enforcement, you know, logically be or something, you know?
Like if I had a bone graft that made a spike come out of my arm that is sharp, would that be against policy because it's technically a part of me? It's not a piercing because I can't take it out. Yeah.
And like, so like there was and we talked about this off, you know, in the real world about like people who make the TSA rules like don't know, or okay, I specifically said that about traveling with Lucy, my cat. Whoever made the TSA like pet rules don't have pets, because like for those of you who haven't flown with a cat before, when you go through TSA, you have to take your cat. Well, you have to bring a carrier. That makes sense.
And you have to take your cat out of the carrier and walk them through the X-ray, right?
Yeah. No one who owns a cat made that rule, because like you're taking a cat who's probably a pretty solitary or the best like a couple other animals and stuff into a space where there's thousands of people suddenly in a strange atmosphere.
That are all giving off the most stressed as shit pheromones possible, too.
Yeah, and you're taking your shoes off, by half your clothes. You're just as confused, and you're holding this small animal. Like, and I know most people like drug their animals and stuff, but like that shouldn't. It's a wild. Anyway, I just think
You just recreational drugs.
Yeah. But this is another thing is like even if you need to get gabapentin or something to like sedate your cat, you have to go to a vet and get that prescribed. Like that's wild. Like the as opposed to like I don't know. I know there's like I know they do it because they want to make sure you're not like hiding shit in their carrier. Mm-hmm. But there has to be another way. You have to get a specific kind of carrier anyway. So maybe there's just something like at one point I was just gonna buy the Southwest carrier as overpriced as it was, thinking that maybe they would make an exception to that. No, like
no, actually made it worse.
Yeah.
But Wolverine gets a beep right at that point, and then he's like, "Well, you got lucky. I'm not taking this flight. I'm gonna head to New York." And instinctually, my thought is like, so he's just gonna go to New York instead of flying international. Like he's just gonna get on a different plane.
Yeah.
So my comment was like, that doesn't help. And then very quickly, we jump over to the next scene. And it's like, he drove 40 hours to get from LA to New York.
Or his magic motorcycle, right? That could make it there in a monologue.
I mean, even if he doesn't sleep, the drive takes 40 hours.
Yeah.
I know that specific drive. But Xavier's outside waiting. Storm arrives. They have like a quick little like reconnect. Logan is a sarcastic dude. Beast arrives in like a fancy ass car in a fancy ass suit. And then Scott's still not there. And you see he's still on site with the gem in his hand. So, So Xavier starts to give the brief, talks about Hisako, who has gone missing, and specifically mentioning the northeast segment of the main island of Japan, and they're having different there are problems with the police that basically every time the cops go looking for somebody, they start disappearing. And I feel like they're just like downplaying the fact that cops are just getting murdered and everybody seems to like not really be worried about that.
Yeah, because there's a whole air of mystery, right? Because they said like they can't detect any mutant activity despite like the eyewitness accounts from the girl's father and stuff.
No. They point out that she has only exhibited powers one time when she was really young. It mentions this was a different one that I wasn't used to from like an origin perspective. The X gene runs in her family, but neither of the parents have powers.
Yeah, it's interesting.
It's like a dormant X gene, I guess, with them.
Yeah, is it like it's like blue eyes or red hair or something?
Yeah, it's a recessive gene. Yeah. But yeah, they point out that neither of them have powers. Wolverine instantly jumps to like, you made us come all the way here for a runaway. And that's actually where they mentioned that the police have been getting killed and such. And they mentioned that there's been like a lot of like recent activity in the area, even though Cerebro can't detect anything that's there. So they're going to go there to find themselves. And that's where Storm is like, well, we're not the X-Men without Cyclops. And that's where you were pointing out of like, this is kind of like a more of a unit rather than the team that's constantly at odds with each other. Yep. At the site of Jean's passing, Scott is still there. Storm and Wolverine walk up, and Beast is back in the mansion, confirms there's nothing wrong with Cerebro. And it seems like only that one area is just like a blackout. And then proceeds to be like, are you sure we should have sent Wolverine there, given their history together? And Xavier's response is, well, I did send Storm too.
Yeah. And he just says her name. He's like Aurora. So like, I know it's like not a surprise, but like I didn't know how like interchangeable. I couldn't remember how interchangeable names were going to be in this show.
They seem like they go by government name more than code name in this show.
That makes sense. I kind of wish, and maybe this is like maybe this happened in the comics, but in one of these shows, it'd be interesting if they gave like a technical reason why code names are introduced, you know? Because it's
mean,
cool to call her Storm, but like, what if it was something they have to go to Japan, so let's not use our government name, so they don't, you know, something like.
Usually, it's when they're their own team by themselves and they're not like in the public. That's usually when you call somebody by their real name, and then when you're around strangers and you're in full like fighting mode, that's when code names pop up. So. Like it's kind of like that trope from like more. I feel like it's more comedy movies that do it, where somebody's like, no, we use code names over the walkie-talkie, you know?
Yeah. Oh, so actually, have you seen Violent Night?
No.
Okay, so it's one of my favorite Christmas movies, but like the villain, no, the team of terrorists that are taking over this mansion that Santa has to escape. Mm-hmm. They all have code names, but for what you're saying, and in this movie, maybe it's because it was made by stuntmen. It's for real because it's an open line and they're taking over this mansion.
Right.
They speak Christmas code names over the walkies just to confuse the people surveilling them. Like, why is Peppermint going to Scrooge, to going to Elf? Like. And so it was like a fun way of everybody having like fun little code names, but also they were like dressed and stuff. Like the woman whose code name was Peppermint, she actually had like a peppermint like candy on her head as the decoration and stuff. So the people in the organization could like notice each other in person, but the people listening to the comms be like, what is going on?
Got it. So Scott says he doesn't have a fight in him anymore. And then, coincidentally enough, last night I saw Punker Ducky, who loves to bully me about Cyclops. I said, well, you're going to love this show because immediately Wolverine calls him a sad emo boy.
Yeah. I was going to ask you if this was the other scene that you laughed at because Logan asked him if he shits here. Like, because I thought that was a similar thing as the other guy saying that's how this always ends. Yeah. Is like, they're like pointing out like, I didn't even think about what you said about it being a year anniversary. Mm-hmm. Is like, yeah, was Scott just like living on this ground zero site?
But he basically like baits Scott really, really hard. It's like, you think you were the only one who cared about her. She'd be sick to her stomach if she saw how you were acting and stuff like that. And then Scott just shoots the shit out of Logan.
Yeah, and that's where we see the healing thing, right? Where his skin like peels off and then
because he gets hit in the forehead, and it was like the good lighting, so you could see it reforming there. So, and then he's like ready to go. You see the healing, and Scott does the say her name again, and it was, I had flashbacks to Keep My Wife's Name Out Your Mouth.
Oh yeah.
And then, unlike the Emmy or was it Golden Globes? It was Golden Globes, right?
Was it? I don't know. I can't remember.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. Unlike the award show, he does not back down. He immediately says Jean again, and that's where Storm intercepts on there. Yeah. And she is the voice of reason. It's like, we're supposed to save people. This is what Jean would have wanted. And he has like this memory with Jean where they were like looking up at the sky and stuff like that. It was like one of those like sweet moments.
There's something about the dead stars like activated Scott, like it reminded him of something. So I don't know if that's going to come back later or if it was just like a sentiment, like culturally or something. Of like, oh yeah, I should, my legacy is going to last longer than this.
Yeah, and they take off and they're like, you should come with us. So at the jet, they're getting on. Scott hasn't shown up yet. And then I got the impression this was not because Scott had been living in the woods, but Logan says, I know that smell anywhere. And I got the impression that like he has some like really like tacky Axe body spray or something like that. And that is what he's referring to. He also makes a great comment. He's like, yeah, making shoulder pads and tights fashionable again.
That was funny, yeah. That was definitely like an English, I think an English overdub. I don't think like maybe a Japanese voice person said that. It seemed like an English voice actor making commentary on the anime design because it's so like V-shaped.
It's very V-shaped. I mean, similar with Jean, like there's like the shoulder pads exude out beyond the outfit. And then you see a quick smirk from Xavier, and they, it's like, we got a call for help. there's a young girl needs us. We're gonna go. And you see the big doors start to open. And then I was a little shocked. I thought Xavier would have been going on the trip with them, but he's staying back at the mansion.
Yeah, I guess I'm not surprised by that because it feels like was it 92? I can't. We watched so many shows and I can't remember which one's which. Where like Xavier's just like, okay, team, go be soldiers. You know, like
didn't do anything in the first season until the time where they were going to suicide bomb the Master Mold. So
yeah. And then that was the season where we were making the joke with, was it, I forget who was on with us, where like Xavier just like shows up. He's like, anyway, like, where'd you come from?
Oh, that was with Kelly. Kelly was the one playing.
So it was like, you didn't come on this mission, and then like they're at a point, and then Xavier like floats in. It's like, anyway, the lesson we learned here was like, where did you come from?
And then as they're taking off, Wolverine is just like, hey, just making sure this isn't like some death wish, right? Like you're not trying to kill us all right now, are you?
Yeah.
And they take off, and that's where we get a to be continued.
I do admit this is a great premise of like X-Men have to go to Japan. Mm-hmm. And so that's going to explain all the Asian characters.
I appreciate that it is a X-Men need to go to Japan as opposed to a what if the X-Men were just in Japan. Yeah. Like it wasn't like the entirety of the show started in Japan as an alternate world. It's just this is a mission for these characters to go on. So
yeah, they're like based in Tokyo instead of like Westchester or something. Right. And then they were like, "Where's a waterfall in Tokyo?" Like,
those don't exist outside of maybe Disney. And then we get into the end credits. Which, Rod, did you watch these for at least the first episode?
Yeah, I watched both of them. I can't remember much from them. They were like sketches, right? I remember seeing a couple characters. I'm like, are these characters going to be in the show? Or are these designs? Because I saw Strife.
So it starts off as a few sketches of the main characters, and then it looks like a vertical mural that they're panning up with. And you see Juggernaut in there. You see Strife. Great call out by that. You see Mystique in there. Specifically, you see Gray Suit Logan, which is like that X-Force version of Logan that we've talked about in the past. And then Magneto in there. And the song is fighting for, it would be good if I could actually read it. It's fighting for, I think it's fighting for peace, fighting for all. That's what it says. Okay. I found it. Yep. Fighting for peace, fighting for all.
That sounds like a very direct translation of words.
And then, one thing which I'm going to avoid watching here because of how we record the show, but at the end of the credit, like a lot of other Japanese anime that I like, there is the next time on, and it has like that 15-second, here's what's going to happen in the next episode thing.
Okay, so that's an anime thing. I was wondering about that because I had made a note of I like how this one, instead of previously on, there's like a next time there's going to be. They're just counting on everybody remembering.
Yep. But yeah, that was the first episode, and I could see if you were watching this as like a week to week, we get the benefit of doing these in duo recordings, which is nice. But I dug it, man. Like I said, I don't think this deserved a 6.9. I'm not saying this is it's not an 8.5 or a 9 to me.
Yeah.
But this should not be in the 6s for me. I thought this was
Gotcha.
It was a really good establishing. There's nothing bad about it. There's nothing wrong about it. But I'm invested enough that I want to watch these next episodes. So
yeah, I'm not good at rating stuff like this because I don't watch anime normally. I think we've said before, the most anime I've ever watched was only adjacent. It was Avatar: The Last Airbender, and it's not even
which is a Nickelodeon anime.
Yeah, it's an adjacent. It's made by American people and stuff. The only anime I think I actually really watched besides this when I was a kid was Ronin Warriors. And even then, I tried to rewatch that a few months ago, and I loved it as a kid, but I think it was kind of slow for me, this time around. And there's a million episodes.
Is Ronin Warriors kind of like rewatching Ninja Turtles, where it doesn't age well with you as a viewer, or is it just a different pace?
I haven't. It's mostly
because I've never watched it, so
I haven't gotten far enough into it to know how the story's going. Ninja Turtles for me, I said this on an episode years ago, but the first episode is still hilarious to me because of how out there it is. Like, it's so crazy, it's not even offensive. Because if you were just now tuning in to this show, basically the short version is...
it's entirely possible from an SEO perspective. This may be people's first episode. Weirdly enough.
The very first episode of Ninja Turtles, if you haven't watched it in a while, I went back and watched it a couple of years ago. I was like, the very first episode, there's this rash of crime across the city, and they're like, well, they're not using guns, they're using swords, so it has to be the Asians. Like,
it's funny.
It's so crazy. It's just kind of funny, you know. And then like the turtles come. It's just such a wild episode. It's something that can only happen in the late '80s, you know.
Yeah.
So anyway, but getting back to the anime. So I'm not a good barometer for anime. For me personally, not considering it's anime, it's like a little slow paced to me. But that's for me in general, anime.
Fair.
But at the same time, I enjoyed it the first time I watched it because, like, even though Iron Man was slow paced and this was, I didn't not enjoy. Like, when I was actually sitting down before I had like a Los Angeles trying to survive life, you know, it was nice kind of sitting back with a cooler full of Coronas with some friends and just like baking watching this, you know, like so it's nothing, like you said, nothing wrong with it. I guess like if I'm watching it now, I feel like the same story for this episode could have been told in about like 10 or 15 minutes maybe instead of like 25. But that's not this show specifically. It's like an anime kind of thing where there's like long fight sequences. It was gorgeous. That's something I will give it. Like, everything was gorgeous.
But at the very least, we don't have the fucking problem with like Dragon Ball Z where it's people screaming for 20 minutes before somebody throws a punch, and then it cuts to in the next episode, and then they scream for 20 more minutes before they throw that first punch. So
I tell you what, was it Dragon Ball, it was a movie. Is his name start with a B? It's the guy that keeps getting bigger. There's a character that this movie was named after, and it premiered at the Chinese theater. I went with our mutual friend Ruth Ann, I think, to go see it. Anyway, I saw it there, and I don't know anything else about Dragon Ball. And when it was over, I looked over at my friend that did like watch anime, and I was like, was that good? Because like I don't have any complaints, but I don't know because it just dropped you into the middle of the story, and I was like, it was like an hour and a half of escalated yelling, and then it ended. And he's like, oh yeah, that's the show. I was like, okay. Broly, that's what it was. It was Dragon Ball Z Broly, and I was like, because when the movie ended, I say end in the sense of like
the story ended.
No, like it stopped. Like I felt like the story kept going because I think it was one of those anime movies where it happened like in the middle of like
continuity.
And so like this, like the image stopped, but like I didn't know what came like. What this like happened before the movie started and what was gonna happen. So I turned around to my friend. I was like, "Was that good?" Because like I'm not judging. It's just it was like an hour and a half of escalated yelling, and then it just stopped. And he's like, "Yeah, that's Broly." I'm like, "Oh, okay." Like,
and you're like, "And you like this?"
No, I wasn't even judging. I was just like, I just don't know what the context of like if this is a good. And I guess it was a great movie because that's what we expect out of that character.
Because you wanted yelling, apparently. Got it.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. So so like with this show we'll see. But I remember liking it the first time around. The feeling I got this is just like my thing was like wow. Like we went from like X-Men '97 where they fit like 10 years of storyline into like 20 minutes to now it's like okay. So this first 25 minutes was just to be like. We're going to Japan.
Yes. Well, on that note, thank you guys for joining us. If you like what you heard, we'd appreciate a rating on the podcast app of your choosing. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Spotify, and YouTube Podcasts. And if you have any thoughts, make sure to drop them into the comments for either the YouTube upload, Spotify upload, or the official Instagram posts about this episode. It did it out of order, and I forgot CastBox. So that's how we're going to end this first episode of 2026.
Happy New Year.